What's going on, guys? So in this video, I'm going to cover a question that I get a lot, and it's really important. It's basically a two-part question. First, how do I get better tracking on YouTube ads? Because the tracking is either delayed or it's missing leads. And second of all, how do I prepare for the coming iOS updates and the issues that it might cause with tracking? So we're going to address both of those questions. They essentially have the same solution. The first solution I'm going to go over is a free solution. It's something that is already built into Google and you can use today, essentially, if you were to go set it up. This solution is not perfect. It tends to be about 3 or 4% off with its reporting, which is good. You can run and scale campaigns with 3 or 4% margin of error. That's not bad at all. The other solutions are more effective than that, and they're also better at scale. And these are paid solutions, different software you can use. I'll show you some cheaper software, some more expensive software. But by the end of this video, you're going to know how to prepare for the iOS update and how to track your YouTube leads better. So first solution, free solution. Let's jump into it. I'm going to show you full creation of how to do this from A to Z so that you know for yourself. So what you're going to do if you want to track your leads better on YouTube is you are going to go up here to Tools and Settings, and you are going to go to Conversions. Then you are going to hit Create Conversion, and you are going to hit Import. Then you are going to go to other data sources or CRMs, track conversions from clicks. So hit continue. Now we're going to name this. Let's name it. I'm going to be using a funnel about mortgage, so we'll name it Mortgage Inbound. I'm not going to use a value for this. There's no real reason to. This is just lead gen. Count 1, click through conversion window, 90 days, that's fine, including conversions. Now, if you're already running a conversion that you have a ton of data on, I would turn this off. Turn it off while you let it warm up. You can always turn it on in the future. If you're starting on a brand new account, you can leave this on, right? Because you don't have another conversion. But if you're currently running on another conversion that already has data and you don't want to switch to a new conversion because that would mess up your campaigns, leave this off for now and let it just sit there and collect data. So we're going to hit Create and Continue. Done. So now what we have to do next is zap our leads to a Google spreadsheet. And for this, I use Zapier. There's other software you can use. There's other automation softwares. I prefer Zapier. I'm going to be zapping from a quiz funnel located in Alchemer. You can use it. You can do this with anything. Any sort of landing page works here. You can use ClickFunnels, any sort of landing page. But we're going to be using this one for an example, and then we have our spreadsheet. So first thing I want you to do is to create a spreadsheet. We'll name this Mortgage Inbound 1. And you get this spreadsheet from this URL. You can just search this in Google and you will find this page. But if you scroll down, they provide this Google Sheets template, and that's where you find this. So first, go to this URL, scroll down, find the Google Sheets template, and you are going to put that over here. So now we have our Google Sheets template. We have our landing page that is going to be collecting the leads. Now we are going to make a zap from landing page to the sheet, and then we'll pull the data in from the sheet into Google. I'll show you how to do that. So hit Create Zap. And here I'm going to select Alchemer because that's the landing page software I'm using. Trigger event, new survey response, continue. And we are going to use this one. Continue. Survey. Mortgage inbound. I don't know this one. Mortgage inbound Isaac. Only complete responses, yes. We only want complete responses to come through. Continue. Test trigger. We want it to pull a lead from there. Gonna find a response. There should be a response in here. We may have to fill this out really quick. Let's do a quick fill out. Okay, so hopefully it can pull that. There we go. Don't know why I was having an issue at first. There's plenty of leads in there. Okay, so next we are going to push it into the Google Sheet. Google Sheets, action event, create spreadsheet row, continue. Google Sheets account, this one. Continue. We don't need to do that. Mortgage inbound. Worksheet. Sheet 1. This is the Google Sheet that you got the template from here. So you get that template from there. You make your own Google Sheet out of it. That is where you put this. Now, the way this works is your landing page, Alchemer in this case, collects a Google Click ID from any user that hits the landing page that comes from Google. Once that is put into this sheet is then going to feed that data into Google Ads and count it as conversions. So all we have to do is search for the Google Click ID. You will find this somewhere in your landing page data that's being exported. You kind of have to just look for it. It's going to say like GCLID. So that's it right there. But there should be one. Well, actually there's, so here it is. It's GC, let's search it just to make sure that's the exact one. Yeah, it's GCLID. That's what you're looking for. There's no data because we didn't click from a Google ad, so it's going to show no data there. Conversion name. Now, you want to copy the exact name of the conversion that you want this to feed into on Google Ads. So let's remove this. Actually, we'll just do contains mortgage. Did we not just create one? Pretty sure we did, but let's double check. Okay. Apparently that doesn't count, but there it is. So you want to copy the exact name of the conversion you want to feed into, and that's what you're going to put here under conversion name. Conversion time needs to be pulled from date submitted. So use this here. and that includes the time as well. You can use date started, but I prefer to use the date submitted because it makes more sense to do it that way. And one additional thing here. So you have to put the time zone code after the date submitted. If you're in Eastern Standard Time, you can just grab New York's from right here. You can Google these GMT offsets. They're really easy to find. This is just the way to write in the time zone. So I'm going to copy New York's time zone, which is -0500. And what you're going to do is after date submitted, you're going to hit space and paste that in. Now, you want to do this to match whatever your Google ad account time zone is. So if your Google ad account, this ad account is in Eastern Standard, you want to make this time zone code right here Eastern Standard. Those have to match. Again, make sure you have a space, then put the Eastern Standard Time. Conversion value, I'm not using any conversion value. Conversion currency, not using anything there. You can if that applies to your offer. Okay, test and continue. Turn on Zap. Just wait for this to turn on, and then we'll go finish this in the actual Google Ads. Okay, the test ran through. Okay, there we go. So that's ready to go now. That's all we need to do there. Let's go back into Google. Now what we're going to be doing is go down here to uploads. So you're still under the conversions tab, and you're going to go to uploads and then schedules. Now we're going to hit add, select source, Google Sheets, link to an existing Google Sheet. Then we want to search the Google Sheet that we made. Let's refresh this. Google Sheets. And let's pull up mortgage inbound 1. Okay, so that's not working too well. The reason that's not working is that it's still registering that I'm signed in under another Google account, which is obviously not the case. What we're going to do is we're just going to use a random Google Sheet because this isn't linking any ones that matter. So pretend with me for a second that this is pulling up the Google Sheet that we wanted. Let's refresh this page again so we can at least get some placeholder Google Sheets. Google Sheets. We'll use this. Now, you have to make sure you share your Google Sheet with this weird thing right here. So let's, again, pretend that this is actually showing up under the Google Sheets. Hit share, hit enter, and then send. Perfect. Frequency, every 24 hours, and start at 12 a.m. Now, I'm not going to let this run. Obviously, it's going to hit an error because it's not linked to the correct Google Sheet. But that is all you have to do. Now, you want this to report every hour. So you're going to keep making these. You're going to make one for every hour of the day. You have to make 24 of these. So you're going to link the sheet again, frequency every 24 hours, and then you're going to select 1 a.m. Save and preview. You don't have to share the sheet with that account every time. You just have to do that once, and then you're good. But you want to make one of these for every hour. That way your data updates really rapidly on Google, and you can see which leads belong to which campaigns. So that is the free method. You have to have Zapier, but Zapier is pretty cheap. Even the free plan might be enough for this. I'm not quite sure what Zapier's pricing is like. But that is the free method. You can do that right now with your Google account. Downsides of this method: it is still going to be about 4% off. And if you go to massive scale, that percent can even increase. Now, I'm about to show you two softwares I recommend for tracking on Google Ads. Why would you use these softwares? The higher you scale campaigns, the more your data is going to be off. I have a student running ads at like 55K a day right now. His data is off by anywhere from 40 to 60%. That's the difference between his true reporting and what Google, YouTube is actually showing the leads. And obviously there's not only the issue of the leads aren't being tracked, it also shows leads as being connected to the wrong campaigns. So it makes it essentially impossible to optimize after you hit larger scale. So if you're going to be, this method, the free method, works if you're running some local campaigns, you're just trying to combat the iOS updates, and you're not going to be running 50K a day. If you're running massive scale, you pretty much have to use one of these paid softwares. That being said, if you're running scale that big, you should be able to afford these fairly easily. So the first software I recommend, which is a cheaper one, if you're like medium scale and you don't want to buy Hyros yet, this is a good option. They have really good ad tracking and conversion attribution. It's one of the things they advertise now. This is more of a software for affiliates. It was originally built for that. The reason I recommend them over a lot of other software is they have really good support. Their support staff is amazing. And any of these third-party tracking softwares are going to be decent. They're going to be way better than your standard YouTube tracking. Whether this or Hyros is better, I've never directly split tested them in the same account against each other. That being said, this is going to track way better than Google will. And they have amazing support staff. They have a support group. Their user base is still not like massive like Hyros to where, you're going to take a while to get a response. And with softwares like this, you're pretty much always going to have questions that need answered. So having good support staff is really crucial. So if you're going to be using a third-party tracking software, I think this is like $80 a month or something like that. You have to check the pricing. RedTrack is a really good option. I highly recommend them. Their software does a lot of other things as well. It has different automation features. It's really, really nice. If you're going to be scaling massively and money is no object and you're not worried about pricing and you're not necessarily worried about support staff, Hyros is a really solid option. It's what all of my students at really high scale are using. It's what I'm using. Hyros is a really good option in order to properly track your campaigns. Like I said, literally the difference when you're at scale between Hyros and regular Google reporting can be as much as like 40 to 60%. It's pretty tremendous, and it's a massive difference. If you're scaling, you basically have to use either this or Red Track. So guys, that's it. Those are basically your options. Most third-party tracking softwares are going to fix your tracking issues. That being said, Red Track has great support. It's the cheaper option. Hyros is the more expensive option. Both of them work great. If you're at low scale, you can work with the free option that I mentioned at first. Again, you'll still be about 4% off, but it doesn't really matter. And yeah, all of these will get you results, guys. But I recommend, if you're on YouTube, you have to be using at least one of these. The standard YouTube ad reporting is absolutely garbage. And iOS is only going to make that worse. Facebook, you can get away with maybe not using these for a little while longer, but YouTube is especially bad with its reporting. I highly recommend using one of these options. So guys, I hope that answered your question. What to do about iOS updates, what to do about YouTube tracking being kind of garbage. These will fix that. If you want to learn more about YouTube ads, to get the most up-to-date information like this and be able to ask me questions directly, I have a free Facebook group. The link is beneath this video. If you want direct coaching on how to scale your business massively with YouTube ads, there is a link to book a call with me directly. You can ask me questions about your campaigns, and I can tell you about the coaching program if that's something that you are interested in. More videos like this on the channel over here. If you want to see videos like this every week, I upload about 3 to 4 videos a week. You can click the subscribe button below. That's it for today, guys. I hope that was valuable. I hope that really helps your campaigns. If you're at scale and you're not using one of these options, I probably just made you a decent chunk of money by the fact that if you use either of these softwares to track your conversions, it makes a massive difference. I'll see you guys later. Hope you have a great week.